They say every person hides a version of themselves you'll ever truly know. I used to laugh at that. I thought it was one of those overdramatic sayings people posted on social media after a breakup. But now I live by it. My name is Jack, I'm 35, and a few months ago I thought I had a perfect life. A wife I adored, a job I loved, and a small peaceful home that always smelled like coffee and vanilla candles. Her name was Laura. We'd been married for 7 years. She was smart, funny, calm, the kind of woman people described as too good to be real. We met at a bookstore. I dropped a coffee, she made a sarcastic joke about it, and somehow that became our story. We clicked instantly. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the woman I'm going to grow old with. And for years, that's exactly what it felt like. Until the night I found the folder. It was a normal Tuesday. Laura had gone to bed early, said she was tired from work. She'd been distant lately, distracted. I assumed it was just stress. We all have those phases, right? I was working late, needed to print something for the office. Her laptop was on the counter, so I used it. Her desktop was spotless, just like her. But in the bottom corner, there was one single folder. No label, just a dot. Now I'm not a paranoid guy. I trusted her completely, but something about that dot felt off, like it was staring back at me. I told myself not to overthink it, but curiosity is a dangerous thing, so I clicked. Inside were dozens of files, PDFs, photos, screenshots, spreadsheets. I scrolled, confused, until I saw my name, over and over again. One file was called Jack Expenses. Another said Insurance Claim. And one that made my stomach twist, Plan B. I opened it. It wasn't just a note. It was a full document, a detailed plan written by her. It described what she'd do if I died, how she'd sell the house, cash out the insurance, move to another city to start over. It even listed the exact amount she'd receive from my life insurance policy. And here's the worst part. I was the one who added her as the sole beneficiary last year. At first, I thought it had to be old, maybe something we made together years ago when we talked about future plans. But the date said otherwise. It was created 2 weeks ago. My heart started racing. I read it again and again, hoping I'd misunderstood. But no, my wife had a plan for my death. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to be sure. So, for the first time in our marriage, I started pretending. For a week, I acted like nothing happened. Made her breakfast, kissed her goodbye, smiled through the panic. But every night when she went asleep, I searched more. Emails, notes, messages. I knew it was wrong, but at that point I didn't care. I needed to know who I was married to. And then I found it, an email thread with someone named Evan. At first it sounded work-related. He was her coworker at the insurance firm, but as I scrolled, the tone changed. Evan, once it's done, we'll be free. Laura, he still trusts me completely. I stared at those words until they blurred. My throat went dry. I couldn't even breathe. The woman I loved wasn't just cheating. She was planning something darker, something final. That night I didn't sleep. I just sat there in the dark, listening to her breathe beside me, wondering how someone could lie so easily. The next day I drove straight to my friend Mark's house. He's a cop. I told him everything. He didn't believe me at first, thought I was being paranoid. But when I showed him the files and emails, his face changed. He told me to keep calm, act normal. They'd start monitoring her messages quietly. So that's what I did. For the next week I played the role of the loving husband. Inside, I was breaking apart. Every smile from her felt like poison. Every "I love you" made me want to scream. Then one night she came home with a strange calmness. She said, "We should go somewhere this weekend, just us. A break from everything." She picked a cabin, remote near a lake, the kind of place where no one would hear you if you shouted. Mark told me to go, to act natural. They'd keep surveillance nearby. Friday came. I packed my bag, every movement feeling like part of a movie I didn't want to be in. Laura hummed in the car the entire drive. She looked happy, too happy. We arrived. The cabin was perfect, isolated, quiet, surrounded by tall trees that swallowed the sound of the wind. Inside, everything looked normal. Dinner, laughter, a bottle of wine. She poured my glass first, hers second. And as the light hit the bottle, I saw it, a faint shimmer near the rim. She smiled. "To us," she said. I smiled back, my hands shaking. She took a sip. I pretended to. When she went to the bathroom, I poured mine into a plant by the window. Within minutes, the leaves started curling, wilting into black. My vision tunneled, my body froze. It was real. The woman I loved had just tried to kill me. I texted Mark one word: "Now." 20 minutes later, the door burst open. Cops flooded the cabin. She screamed, tried to delete files on her phone. It was over. Evan was arrested that same night. Turns out he wasn't just her lover, he was her partner in crime. They inflated my life insurance policy together, forged documents, and had been planning to stage my death as an accident. The part that broke me most wasn't even the betrayal. It was how organized it was. Every fight we had was calculated. Every late work night was another meeting. She'd been slowly rewriting our story so that when I died, I'd look unstable, stressed, maybe even suicidal. At the trial, I sat there as the prosecutor read her messages aloud. "Make it look like an accident. He trusts me so much it's almost sad. Soon we'll have everything we ever wanted." She didn't look at me once. Not during testimony, not during sentencing. Just stared straight ahead, emotionless. 25 years, that's what she got. Evan got 30. When the judge read the sentence, I didn't feel relief. I felt empty. Because you can punish someone for a crime, but you can't punish them for stealing your belief in love. After the trial, people kept asking if I hated her, if I wanted revenge. No, because what she lost that day wasn't freedom. It was the mask. The world finally saw the monster I'd been sleeping beside. It's been almost a year now. I sold the house, moved to another city. Sometimes I still wake up expecting her next to me, her hair on the pillow, her perfume in the air. Old habits die hard. But then I remember the folder, the wine, the plant with its dead leaves, and the sound of her voice saying, "To us." Now I work with the police part-time, helping victims of financial fraud and domestic abuse. It's not glamorous, but it means something. Sometimes people message me, asking how I survived it. I tell them the truth. You don't move on from something like that. You rebuild, brick by brick, until one day you look around and realize the walls are stronger now, harder to break. I haven't dated again, not yet. I'm not ready. But I'm not bitter either. because I learned the most painful truth of all. The wrong person will make you doubt everything good about yourself. The right one will make you believe again. And until that person comes along, I'm fine walking alone. Because at least this time, I know I'm safe. Sometimes I look back and wonder, was any of it real? The smiles, the love, the promises. Maybe it was, maybe she meant it once. But somewhere along the way, money, greed, and ambition became more important than love. That's what people don't tell you about betrayal. It's not about losing someone else. It's about losing the version of yourself that still believed love was safe. So if you're listening to this and you've been lied to, cheated on, or used, don't let it break you. Don't become them, because truth always outlives lies. And sometimes, survival is the best revenge.